It's important that you appreciate that nitric oxide is important not only in the cardiovascular system, but also in the CNS, which means central nervous system, the brain. Also, it fights infection and it fights inflammation. It's important in the GI tract because, believe it or not, nitric oxide can prevent ulcers, and it can stimulate the movement of food throughout the gastrointestinal tract. Nitric oxide makes you breathe better. It's like it helps the airflow in the lungs. It's also important in controlling bladder function and, as I said before, erectile dysfunction. So this is what I mean by nitric oxide being a very a widespread signaling molecule. And the function of this, the reason for this, is to protect all of these different kinds of cells. If you understand why nitric oxide is important, you will totally understand what the value of our new product is, Niteworks, which, as you heard from Michael Johnson, really does work. And it works because there's a great scientific basis behind this. The nitric oxide that is generated by this product is a vasodilator. It lowers the blood pressure. That's a good thing. It improves blood flow and lowers the blood pressure. It also inhibits clotting. When blood clots in the brain, do you know what that's called? Stroke. Nitric oxide can prevent that. When the blood clots in the coronary arteries that feed the heart, what is that called? That's a heart attack or a myocardial infarction. Nitric oxide will prevent that. It also protects against coronary artery disease, plaque formation in the arteries, if you will. It can also protect against the complications of diabetes. So many people suffer from diabetes, and one of the functions of nitric oxide in the body is to protect against diabetes. Also, as I indicated previously, nitric oxide can protect against ulcers and, yes, even Alzheimer's disease. There is a lot of new evidence showing that nitric oxide can protect against Alzheimer's disease. And, of course, we always have to throw in the erectile dysfunction because although erectile dysfunction does not kill anybody, it affects 10% of the male population. 10%. You know, that means it also affects indirectly 10% of the female population, so to speak. So, you know, the cardiovascular disease is associated with a deficiency in nitric oxide. And so the disease process involves a decrease in the production of nitric oxide, an increase in the destruction of nitric oxide, and in general, a decrease in the action of nitric oxide. It's made mainly in the arteries, and it's produced by those cells I showed you in the center called the endothelial cells that line all the arteries. Now,